Hello, this is today, Saturday. It is 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. It is which is 1723 Zulu, 22 Zulu, 2200 Zulu right now. And you can see that this thing actually is showing clicking off Zulu time down here. So the last picture in this is 2 hours ago. So it goes to 2030 Zulu is the last picture here. 2030 Zulu, which is will be 1430, 230. So 230. This last picture here is 2.5 hours old. This is GOES, which I call GOES. G-O-E-S, East. GOES, G-O-E-S, G-O-E-S, East. And you can look, there's a bunch of different things to look at. You can just Google the GOES, G-O-E-S satellite imagery, and then you can go to, this belongs to NOAA. You can see their thing, so it belongs to you. It belongs to you. That satellite that took this picture belongs to you, and it belongs to me. Take a look. I invite you to look through some of these, and this is a loop, right? You can look at individuals, and we can go back. Let's actually go back. And geocolor, I'm looking at GOES East, continental US, there's all kinds of stuff to look at here. But let's go ahead and flip over. You can see that this is the 2 p.m. today, 2 p.m. today, and it's 5 o'clock. They're about to put a new one out at 5 o'clock. We'll wait a few minutes and hopefully that'll pop up. Actually, we'll go ahead and go NHC, National Hurricane Center, click on N and see when they put us a new one up. This is still the 2 o'clock. No, this is the 5 p.m. Okay, look at where this is. This is the 2 p.m. right by the FL, 8 a.m. Thursday, right by the FL, 8 a.m. Thursday. And here's the 5 o'clock. They're shifting it this way again. I've been saying that. Just privately, just a couple of people. And it's shifted more this time west than it did last time. So that's probably good for us. The 5 o'clock. Here's the 5 o'clock. Just came through. Let's go to Mike's weather page, which is spaghettymodels.com. You can see the address up there, spaghettymodels.com, and we're going to, here's the top of spaghettymodels.com, and we'll click on to this track guidance, Ian track guidance. I thought they were going to call it Hermione. I don't know why they named that thing over by Africa that's just going to dissipate Hermione. But if you like the name Ian, congratulations to you. We'll click on this and it will bring up Tropical Tidbits. Tropicaltidbits.com, which, and the information on Ian, you can click here, which you can barely see, to select a different storm if it's not the storm you're wanting to look at. We're going to be looking at forecast models here in a minute. Forecast models, and I want to go down to over here. Can you see it? And click this thing. And there we go. This is the this is 1800 Zulu, which is still lunch. This is the lunch models from today, and you can see that they've been trending away from us, which I've been thinking and hoping it would do. I like having my electricity. I got a generator that can run the whole house pretty much. I can run my central air conditioner. I could run the heat strips off a generator, but I can't run. I wouldn't run refrigerators, the freezer and the garage refrigerators and stuff with the same time I'm running the air conditioner. But I can run the air conditioner in the house here off a generator. But I still don't want the electricity going off, and I don't want tree damage and all this. I got a spooky tree in my front yard it's got a crotch. It looks like it wants to split in two. Nice shade from that thing, though. Nice shade from that. So let's go over to, I'm going to get rid of this, and we'll go here, and we'll be at Tropical Tidbits. And anywhere you can listen to what, this is Friday evening, you can listen to Dr. Levi Cohen. See that picture of Dr. Levi Cohen, his Twitter, Twitter stuff is over here, and this is a video you can click on if you want to look at that. And we can click on forecast models, and when we click on the forecast models, I'm going to go in to zoom in like this and go to one that's prepared for us to look at. This is 6 o'clock Zulu Friday morning, which is midnight, 1 o'clock. This is 1 o'clock in the morning. Call it midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, GFS. And this is the one from initialized. This is 6 o'clock this morning, so this is still a pretty old model for some reason. I wonder if we got new ones. Let me look and see if we got new ones. Yeah, it's still, they haven't updated it yet. But we'll be getting some new models for GFS pretty soon. But you can see GFS has it going into Pensacola. I can click global, and while I'm sitting at this same time, which is, let's click it back to midnight. Oh, I'm sorry, this is midnight. This is midnight. It's 6 Zulu Friday. This is midnight for us. 1 o'clock in the morning. 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to go to global, click on the euro. Oh, see, they've been, the damn guys on TV and NHC seem to like the euro. And a few years ago, euro was better than GFS. But last year, GFS had the best track record, at least in my opinion. I watched this stuff. GFS was better last year. Euro has a hitting Baker County and hitting us, and GFS has it hitting currently hitting Pensacola. Now we're looking at the wind. You're not used to looking at the wind. We're looking at the rain. We'll look at the rain then. Oh, you want to look at the wind? Well, of course, if you're looking at the rain, it's over here. You can't see that, but I will click to this. Well, even then you can't see it. But over here off the right you have a thing, precipitation and moisture. This is this top one. Precipitation and moisture is the top one, is this that we're looking at now. This other one, if you go to the next, lower dynamics, and we would click down about this far down, and it says 850 millibar height and wind. 850 millibar height is 5,000 foot off the ground. I look at this one, that's what you caught me looking at it already. So we'll look at it. I look at this as kind of like a maximum wind gust type thing. I don't expect to see this type wind on the ground at my house. Some people will, but it's kind of not many. Even Hurricane Andrew, if you'd have looked at this at Hurricane Andrew, it'd have been like a nightmare from who knows where. But the nightmare was about a 10-mile wide stripe. 10 miles wide, they got the nightmare. But if you looked at this, you'd have thought the nightmare was 50 miles, 75 miles wide, 100 miles wide. And if you want to see really something spooky, and you can see this is in knots. So 40 knots right here in the middle of the green, where it starts to go from green to lime. So this shows tropical. This is the euro. Zoom into this thing. Euro, I remember euro as euro. And what the, I mean, whoa phooey. Euro, whoa phooey. When they say euro on TV, it's this one. You can see they got, euro has a 5,000 foot wind, tropical, way out, 50 miles out into the ocean, 75 miles out in the ocean, and they're showing us getting this purple. The purple in knots is 65, which is 75 miles an hour. So anything that's looking purple is hurricane force wind, which means that all these areas, there's this wide, here we're still looking at 1 o'clock in the morning, still back up 6 hours, wide swath of people that could potentially get close to hurricane force gusts. And here we're back at 1 o'clock in the morning, Friday morning. On the Euro. On the Euro. We're going to look in a minute what notch really means. I've got it wrote up here. You can't read it. Unless you could read it on a laptop probably. So let's go global. Well, EC Fast. EC Fast has it coming pretty close to us and a little earlier. Yeah, that's about the same. EC Fast. It only does 12-hour models. GFS. Now let's look at GFS. Let's go back to 1 o'clock in the morning. 1 o'clock in the morning, Friday morning. Pretty significant hurricane, 975 millibars. And a lot of hurricane force gusts. And, you know, there's going to be people that see hurricane force winds on the ground, a lot of them right near the center, near this low, right in close to this low on the eye wall there. Hurricane Andrew, 10 miles of eye wall was really, really bad, but that was a 150 mile an hour hurricane. 975 millibars. It's a hurricane. But it's just falling out of hurricane as it's coming ashore. So what's this, 966, 959, definitely a hurricane out there in the ocean. And as it starts to grab hold of the ground, it's slowing down pretty quick, 985 by 6 o'clock in the morning Friday on the Euro. But we're looking at the winds. We don't really see us seeing a lot of gusting if it hits Pensacola. What this really means is, if you look here, they do have us into this yellow and green, which is getting into tropical force gust. What this would mean is there's going to be thunderstorms slinging off of this thing. And so right here, this is 1 o'clock in the morning Thursday. So all day Thursday, we might see thunderstorms, and you could see 40, 50 mile an hour gusts. If the Euro is right, and this is what it does, we're going to see a gusty 10 to 20 mile an hour. As always, you'll hear higher force winds up in the sky, but they're up in the sky in the tops of the trees and even higher. You're looking at 10, 20 miles an hour gusting on the ground. And then possibly 20, 30 mile an hour, maybe even 40 mile an hour gusts on the ground around these thunderstorms if the Euro is right. I mean, if GFS is right. If the Euro is right, we're going to see 20, 30, maybe 40 mile an hour winds on the ground with gusting. Hurricane, getting close to hurricane sometimes, maybe. I mean, this counts. It's almost getting hit by a hurricane. So, I mean, this could be just as bad as the last one that came through, if the Euro is right. But I'm still thinking they're going to cone it over a little bit more, maybe. I hope. I like having the electricity, and I like the cable on and the internet on. Don't matter if you have a generator if the cable box down at the corner of the road ain't got a generator. You know. And you could hotspot, watch Tubi TV. Tubi TV. She likes to watch all these paid. She likes to watch the Disney and the Netflix and the Amazon and all that. I like to watch the Tubi. Free. So you see the knots scale. Before we switch to that, did I cover that precipitation here when you click on the top one? Precipitation moisture. That this is millimeters an hour, and you can see that we've got this 8 millimeters is a third of an inch an hour. That means that it's going to be pretty much rain, steady rain. When it's steady raining, it's going to be a pretty good rain. But there, in the middle of this, you're going to see thunderstorms that are going to be dumping 50 and 75 millimeters an hour, but only for about 10, 15, 20 minutes. So this is not accumulated. Total accumulated This is the 24-hour, I guess. Did I click on the 24-hour? Yeah, 24-hour accumulated moisture. And you can see, I'm not even sure if this is millimeters. No, this is in inches. Yeah, I thought so. This is in inches. And you can see we're in the 44.5 inches. 5-6 inches in 24 hours type. You're looking at possibly, if this thing comes close like the Euro says, you could be looking at 10 inches of rain, 5 to 10 inches of rain. And if it goes over to Pensacola, we're looking at 2, 3, maybe 5 inches of rain. We'll switch over to GFS, and you can see that most of the rain for GFS stays offshore for us, and we end up in the, the maybe 2 inches of 24 hours. Okay, where are we at? We're at 15 minutes. We got to hurry up. Switch to knots. What is a knot? What is a knot when we're looking at that knots wind speed thing at the 850 millibar height for looking for your possible highest wind gusts? 100. If you watched yesterday's video, if you didn't, go back and watch it because it shows some cool stuff, especially at the end. I talk about pressure. What does the pressure mean as far as possible wind? And that one that I look at is in kilometers per hour. So 100 kilometers per hour is 62 miles an hour. This thing we're looking at today, all the hurricane maps and all are in knots. 100 knots is 115 miles an hour. You can see the scale here. 40 knots is about 46 miles an hour, so that's tropical. 40 knots is tropical storm force. 65 knots is about hurricane force, around 75 miles an hour. 64 knots, somewhere around there, is in 65 knots. You can figure is about what hurricane force is. And so 100 miles an hour is about 88, 89 knots. 125 miles an hour, which is about the worst this thing is going to be, 110 knots. It ain't going to come here that fast, but if you live close, Pensacola or Tampa, anywhere from Pensacola to Tampa, 110 knots, you could be looking at that. So I hope that this is interesting to you. I'm just showing you to go look at these things now that you know where they are. Okay, the GOES satellite for today, we looked at that. Of course, Mike's weather page, which is SpaghettiModels.com. Tropical tidbits, of course, always look at National Hurricane Center. I start looking at them more when we start getting to, especially in the 3 days. There's a lot of stuff within 3 days that I look at in National Hurricane Center, and I don't even look at them until they're under 5 days, and I really start looking at National Hurricane Center under 3 days. There's some interesting stuff there, and then. Again, yesterday, very interesting. I'll go ahead and cover it again. Let's go to Google historical hurricane tracks. Oh man, you can't even see it because I'm zoomed off. Let me do this. I can modify on the fly. Historical hurricane tracks. Let's find a hurricane you're interested in. Charlie. What the hell? Did I not type Charlie in? Irma. Oh, it's Irma. Oh, here we go. You got to hit the hurricanes over here. I thought Irma. What didn't we? They must have named Irma. The Irma we just had has a different spelling than Well, let's type in Duval. We could type in Duval County, or we could type Jacksonville. You could type anything to type in Duval County. Here it is, and you can see the worst thing. Let's move this over so you can see it. Hey, I didn't want that. Hit the arrow over here. You can't see it, but there's an arrow up this way. Zoom in. See, the worst thing to really cross Duval County is this guy. Can I click on that? There's my little hand. Click on that. And then let me get some more of this action over here going on. There we go. Unnamed 1888. The worst thing to hit Jacksonville. Where's my damn mouse at? I got all this. I got a huge monitor here, but I'm not using it. I'm using a little monitor and a little monitor for this stuff. There's the mouse. Maximum category was a 2, which is the orange, and you can see that it 90 knots. 95 knots was it, and it was 95 knots, and we can click on this here, 70 knots across. So it stayed hurricane all the way across Jacksonville. Hurricane came in from Cedar Key all the way across Jacksonville. It hit Cedar Key as a category 2 and was still a category 1. Still a category 1 all the way across Jacksonville in 1888. So have fun with this stuff. Look on the internet. There's cool things to see there. 21 minutes.